Well, hello there everyone on the socials. My name is Mark Miles, as you know, helping you become the best trainer, presenter, workshop facilitator you truly can be, and hope you're having an awesome day. So in today's video, I want to talk to you about a topic that I often get asked about from people that are making transition from face-to-face training to online training. And you may think it's a bit of a, obvious thing, or you may think it's a, doesn't everyone know kind of question. But it was a very valid question when the person asked it, because you don't know what you don't know, right? So this person asked me the question, when you're delivering online, how often should you actually give breaks? How often should you give breaks to your audience? Now, it's a really interesting and important question, because ultimately, what we don't realize is in the online space, energy drains a lot faster than when you're in the face-to-face environment as an audience member, right? So as a presenter, we need to be aware of that, and we need to cater to that and accommodate for it, right? If we don't, your audience's energy is going to drop very quickly. You won't notice that people are checking out, and you've got less people listening to you, which is not what you want, of course, right? So the first thing we need to do is realize attention spans these days are down to 3 minutes, folks. 3 minutes. It's only 3 minutes before somebody is starting to get the itch, the twitch, the urge to check their Twitter, their Facebook, or do something else, or think about being somewhere else, right? So you need to be aware of that. You need to have strategies for active engagement throughout your online delivery. And that's another topic for another time. But you need to realize attention spans are down to 3 minutes. And when you embrace that idea, you start to present very, very differently, right? So next thing we need to be aware of is that the human brain generally can focus in 20-minute chunks, right? Science has shown that. So generally, you want to be calling a break for online delivery every 40 minutes. If you ever push an audience group past 40 minutes or like to an hour, you are going to start to lose people very, very quickly. And as my mentor once said, your brain can only tolerate for as long as your bottom can sit there and experience what's going on, right? So what I mean by that is once the bum gets sore, the brain's out of it, right? Once the bum's sore, you've got no hope of bringing people back, right? So with online delivery, you need to be aware of that, and you need to work with that. So for every 40 minutes is a good time to be taking a break, all right? Now, the next question becomes, well, how long should I give my breaks for, right? And generally what I like to say is give a break to a reasonable amount of time. And I would say reasonable is 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or 20 minutes, right? Now, you need to be aware that many people are zooming in from home. So if they're going to have a 5-minute break, well, that means that they stand up, move around, they go to the kitchen, maybe get a snack, and maybe they need to go to the restroom. You need to actually think about what someone's going to do on your break, right? And you need to give the length of time based on how much you've just gone through in your content, how heavy the content has been, and how much of a break they would actually need, all right? So it's up to you if you give a 5-minute, 10-minute, 15, or a 20-minute break. But one other reason to give a break is to potentially give them decompression time, but also energize time for a next big piece of content. So if you know that you've just gone through a little bit of content and the next piece of content is going to be very heavy, or there's going to be a lot for them to do, you may want to give them a break just before the big stuff, right? And you are never going to be accused of giving too many breaks, but you will be accused of not giving enough breaks, right? People will never not like you for your extra breaks. They will always dislike you for the lack of, if that makes sense, right? So be proactive in giving breaks, and know that break time is as valuable as content time, and it's a great way to think about it. On that note, folks, hope you get some value from this video. I will just wrap up with one simple comment about lunch times. What we often find is that when people are delivering content online, they will often give a lunch break, but it's going to be too short. They will often say, I'm going to give you 20 minutes for lunch, or 30 minutes for lunch, or, like 5 minutes for lunch, whatever it may be. be aware that if someone's zooming in from home, they need time to actually go to the kitchen, get the food, maybe even cook the food, and eat the food, right? And generally, humans take about 30 to 35 minutes to do those activities, right? 1 hour for lunch is excessive. 30 minutes is probably just enough with a little bit more tacked on to a 40-minute block there for lunch. On that note, folks, hope you got some value from the video. If you did, like, comment, share. Let's get the message out there. My name is Mark Miles, helping you become the best trainer, presenter, facilitator you can be, both face-to-face and online. Thanks for watching, team. We'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.